Hello, I just wanted to show you the third tech demo I have. This shows implemented gameplay features. It's not really a game yet, but it just shows the gameplay features. So I'll show you that. Player, you start the game in like a cave, falling into. You go forward. You can't get past this until you jump. So player has to jump past that, and after a few more obstacles, they'll be presented with the gauntlet, which you can see here. If the player crosses over it, they pick it up, and then I have these lights light up so that it shows a path. The player has to jump up here to get to the next level. They go over here, they go down, and then they can't go back to where they were. Go through a gate like before, and their gauntlet turns red if it's a red gate. They go over here, and they see this red object. They jump onto it, but they can't reach up here. They'll just fall down, and they have to go back over here and jump back up again. So here, they would use the red gauntlet to affect the red object, and if you hold the right trigger, you'll see that it works like an elevator. If you release it, it goes down, so you can jump onto it, go up, jump over, and then you go to the next section, which has blue. Turns your gauntlet blue, jump up, jump over, jump onto the platform, hold down the gauntlet, and you go up again. And that's everything that I have here so far. So I'll show you how I'm implementing that. I have a blueprint for the elevator, so I have the blue elevator blueprint here. I have at the beginning of the game, when the game starts, it sets the elevator down variable by getting the actual location. And the reason I have that is because over here I have a timeline which is driving how the elevator's moving. So when the elevator's down, it's at its initial location. When the elevator's up, which is B, it's elevator up plus elevator down. So elevator up is just a vector that I have set to be 300Z. So what it does is it takes the elevator down location and adds 300 to the Z value, which makes it go up. And then the driver just says perform this action over 2.5 seconds. So it does this. This over here says set the new transform for the elevator to be whatever this is on the timeline at whatever moment it is here. So from set from A, elevator down, to elevator up. And then the functions for elevator up are blue elevator up, red elevator up, and purple elevator up. It's if originally this was going to be just like the gates, and it was going to have, I could set it to be blue, red, or purple, and I just ran out of time trying to get that to work. So instead, it's just the same code in the red elevator. Just now, what it says is, if function blue elevator is run on this object, if the object has the blue tag, then play the elevator driver and perform these actions. If it says red elevator up and it has the red tag, then so forth and so forth. And pretty much I set the objects, instead of having a public variable like for the gates, that would be here, and I could say blue, red. I have a tag, and I can just set the tag to be whatever it is, and since it has that tag, it will animate. If I make that tag anything else, it will not animate. So the level blueprint. has functions in it for the elevator actions. So when the right gauntlet is pressed, I look at the player, I say, what color is the gauntlet, the right gauntlet color, and whatever that color is, perform this action. So if it's blue, run blue elevator up on the blue elevator. If it's red, run red elevator up on the red elevator. When it's released, on both the blue elevator and the red elevator, run elevator down. And elevator down runs the reverse of the elevator driver. So wherever the elevator driver is in its animation, instead it goes back to zero, so if it was 1.5 way through the animation, so it says, oh, well, let me go back to here. If it was here, it goes back to here. Here is the code for picking up the gauntlet. The gauntlet, there's a trigger volume around the gauntlet. Once I get to it. So I'm not really sure why it's not showing up, but there's a trigger volume here around this, and it says when I'm touched by the player, check to see if the right gauntlet's been picked up. If it hasn't, then turn the test arm, which is this object, the visibility off, and then toggle the visibility of the right arm on the player on, so the player has picked it up. Then set right picked up to true, and then turn the visibility on the three lights here on, so that the player knows to go forward. Then if the player ever crosses that trigger again, then it'll not do anything. I was having the problem where if you crossed it over and over again, he just kept on resetting the actions over and over again. So now you can only do it once, and the test arm in the scene has no collision, so you can walk through it once it's invisible. The player has new functionality as well. The player now has another enum for the gauntlet colors. There's one for each, right gauntlet and left gauntlet. Those are the same as the gate color. You can set it to one of 3 colors. The player starts with that enum set to white, and depending on what gate they go through, it sets the materials as you've seen before, and then it sets those to those colors. I will be using those for other functions later, but also the level is checking that information. So these enums correspond to this color, and you can see switch on right gauntlet color. And once I have the left gauntlet, it'll be the same path, except this will be left gauntlet. This here tells the arms to be invisible, so they'll start visible, but then at the start of the game they just turn invisible. And then, as you saw, when the player triggers that volume here, then it turns visible. So that is a demonstration of some gameplay elements. There will definitely be more advanced actions later on, as I've described in my paperwork. But for now, I just wanted to get simple actions working in the game, so I would know where some problem was in the code I had. I need to work more on what I want to figure out is how to get I want to get this action instead of having to say run this function on blue elevator. I want to say run this function on anything tagged blue. And well, anything tagged blue that's currently loaded into the game. That's probably a little bit more complicated, and I may have to go into the and not be able to use blueprints for that. But that's what I want it to do, because I want to keep this. I want to have as little programming on the level as possible, or as few graphs as possible, because I can make more graphs, and then this graph. If I have to do it that way, I will. But I feel like it would get jumbled up really quick if I had to put 7 objects up here, and then 7 objects here, and then etc. The biggest problem I'm having right now is trying to figure out how to get the purple gauntlets to work. I can get them to work blue and red individually to each left mouse button, but I can't get them to, when you press them both together, perform a different action. There may be a way I can do that. I just need to do a little more research into it. But that's where I am now. I'll have more next week. Thanks.